Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, you've come to the right place. Today I have busted out an oldie. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I'm sure you guys remember this. This is what it looks like. If mine looks like it's brand new, it's because I have never used it. I bought this palette and let it disappear into my collection for years, so I never used it. The other day I pulled it out and I swatched it. I sniffed it and it still smells great because, again, it's never been touched. So that's what we're going to use today. And spoiler alert, it's probably going to be a neutral. Let's begin. I have the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base, to no one's surprise. And this is my absolute favorite primer for my shadows. It really does keep them from moving or creasing all day, and it's at an accessible price point, meaning it can be purchased by many, many populations because the price is affordable. So we're going to let that sit on the eye for a minute. And then next up, we are going to go in with the Milani Under Eye Brightener. This one is in number 4, Nectar. I don't think that this palette is going to have a lot of fallout, so pretty confident that I can go ahead and pop some stuff on underneath my eye and we shouldn't have too many problems. Sorry, I don't know what was on my face. The only thing that I don't like about this product is the packaging. The product itself is phenomenal. The packaging leaves something to be desired because it's messy. However, that is not going to keep me from purchasing this product again, so love it. All right, next we have a little sponge right here. We're just going to take this and press it in. Little dabble, do ya? Just like that. Okay, now that's pressed in. And then we are going to go in with, where is it? I want a little extra pop, a little extra wow. So I have the brushed bronze caviar stick from Laura Mercier here. I'm going to pop this right over that primer we just sat down. Just doing that on the second half of my eye, because whatever shadow I put on top of it, I just want it to really be like heavy. Okay, and then we are going to grab a brush, a fluffy brush. I'm going to blend this out a little bit. So by doing this, we're just adding some depth right out the gate. You got to work quickly because these sticks definitely dry quickly, but they do blend well. Sorry, I have allergies, you guys. Big time. And my window's wide open because it's hot in here. I turned the fan off, so we're not going to have to compete for that noise, but yeah. You can still hear the cars and the birds and things outside. Okay. So now we have just a little bit of depth in the outer corner to work with. Meanwhile, let's grab our palette and let's get a flat brush. And let's go in with a matte. How about this one right here? It's called Riff. This one right here. Wow, this palette's heavy. I forgot how heavy it is. So we're going to take Riff. I'm going to put that on the first 2/3 of the lid. And as expected, this is easy to blend. Urban Decay makes fantastic shadows, and arguably This is the best palette that they ever came out with. I think the color story is so beautiful. It's so versatile. And again, with their shadows, they don't tend to change the formula between their palettes versus their singles. So you know what you're getting. Back in the day, I used to just buy the singles. And yeah, they're just beautiful. I think they do a really fantastic job. They're very similar to Viseart. If you're trying to think of a comparable formula, I wouldn't say they're the same. Viseart to me is um, a little drier and a little more pigmented. But if you're looking for something to kind of compare it to, that's what I would compare it to. So we just put a nice wash of brown right there on the lid. There you go. And then for the next shade, I think I'm going to go in with this warm terracotta color right here called Baja. It's this one right here. And we're going to put that on the lid as well. Same brush. We're putting that right in the center of the lid. These shadows are still performing beautifully after all this time. Again, I have to say it's probably because I never touched them. So they were not like adulterated with the oils from my skin. But still, that's a testament to the quality of the product. For my outer corner, I think I'm going to go with Hell Ride, which is this shade right here. And same brush. Just laying that right on top of that nice Laura Mercier stick, just to get that depth. I'm really not seeing any fallout either. So these are pretty solid shadows. I'm just blending that in so that there's not a harsh line. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just pulling that in so we don't have a harsh line. Okay. All right. And then lastly, I do want to go over the lid with something a bit brighter. So let's go with this color right here called Ignite. This one right here. Hold on. Oh, try not to drop this right here. That's Ignite. And I'm going to change out my brush for this one. I need something a little bit smaller so I can have a bit of precision here. Let's go with this one. Ignite is kind of a warm coppery color. There we go. Just something to kind of dress up the eye a little bit. It's a nice finishing touch. And it's not too bright. Like there's not too much going on here. It's just kind of a nice sort of subtle shimmer over the lid. We're not going all the way out, we're going about halfway. Okay, nice. I like it. We're going to save that brush for later because we're going to mirror the bottom. And then for the top, I still have this fluffy brush from before, and I'm actually going to go right back in with that first color, Riff, and we're just going to put this into the rest of the crease, just so we have kind of a smooth transition between the lid and the crease. There we go. Now we won't have like a harsh line, you know what I mean? It's just gonna look like it's all blending in together. Okay, love this palette. So glad that I pulled it back out. I'm gonna have to leave it towards the front of my collection so that I keep using it. Let's finish the face. We have the Lancome Tainted Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. This is in the shade 470. I'm just gonna pop this on. I love this concealer. Not only does it have a multitude of shades and tones, you get a lot of product, believe it or not, in this little container, and it lasts for quite a while. Plus, this concealer plays well with so many other products. I have not had any trouble with it, with any of the foundations that I've laid over top of it, any of the skin tints, nothing like that. No problems at all. I have the same sponge that we were using earlier, and we're just going to press this in. For a more intense, fuller coverage, what you would do is pop on the concealer and then give it a little bit to get slightly tacky, and then blend it in, and then you'll have a higher concentration of pigment in one area. But we're not doing that today. We're just going to spread this out the way that we laid it down. There we go. Okay, that looks good. See how well it just blends in? It's very skin-like. We're going to set this with the Pat McGrath Labs Deep Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Powder. I've talked about this a lot because for me it's like, at this point, we're in a situationship, I suppose. I have no idea if I like this powder or not, but I do keep using it, so there must be something to it. I'm just not sure what it is. I mean, it feels good. It's not a super heavy powder, but I just don't know if it's any better than any other powder that I've used, especially for the price point. I'm like, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like it's any better or any worse than any other brand. Okay, so for the rest of the face, let's go in with a little bit of this e.l.f. Cookies and Dream, because it is summer and we just want to make sure to mattify a little bit in the areas where I normally get super oily. Not a lot, just enough to kind of tone it down for the day. It's always the same places. My nose, my forehead, the corners of my nose. They don't make this primer anymore, but I did buy it because if you guys follow Nana, it's her favorite primer, and I can see why. It has a really nice creamy texture to it, but it also has quite the scent. It really does smell like cookies and cream. So if you happen to have this or come across it and you're sensitive to scent, you may want to skip this. An eyelash. Okay, so for my foundation, no surprise, Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. My shade is in the shade 3N54 parenthesis Y463. So if we are skin twins, this is my exact match. Ooh, one of my brushes is shedding. All I do is take a little pump and then a little bit of an extra pump, and that's it. Not much. We're going in with that same sponge, and we're just going to pop this foundation in all the places that we want foundation. This foundation is skin-like for sure. And whenever I wear it, I tend to get compliments on my skin. Oh, your skin looks nice. And I'm like, thank you. It's the foundation. And people are like, oh, really? It's just a really good match for one. And then it's just a nice formula. Cover a little bit of that melasma. There we go. I don't really put on too much. It's just enough. Just enough to even the tone. You know what I mean? I'm not really looking for like that full coverage, full glam, you know, just stepped out of the limo, going to the party, hobnobbing, that kind of look. That's not what we're going for here. We're just going for something that looks nice, put together, polished. That's what we're going for here. Okay. So for the powder, I talk about this often. It's the Ruby Kisses HD Set and Forget setting powder, but just beware because a little of this powder goes a long way, and honey, you will look casket ready. You will. I tend to go overboard, but it holds my makeup in place all day long. And I'll warm it back up with like a face powder or a bronzer or something like that. There we go. And then we'll tone down that powdery look in a second with a little bit of setting spray as well. So in the end, it'll look normal. Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. I do have a bronzer here from Mented. It's in the shade Decay. I've been loving this bronzer. I seem to have just forgotten that I have any other bronzer in my collection, apparently. So that's what it looks like. It's very red, like very. So I try not to go too heavy-handed with it. Some days are better than others. What can I say? I definitely go into the hairline with my bronzers, so I don't know how you guys do yours, but that's how I do mine. And like I said, it's quite red, so if you don't necessarily want a super duper warm bronzer, this is probably not it. But if you do like a nice warm tone bronzer like I do, then I suggest you try this one. The formula is nice too. It's very easy to work with. And Mented is a Black-owned brand. There, see, just kind of warm the face back up a little bit, just like that. And then, let's see, you know, sometimes I don't know. For my blush, I have another Black-owned brand here. This is called Black Up Cosmetics, and it is an Afro-European brand. This is what the blush looks like. I just bought these from Macy's. Black Up is a cosmetic brand that's been around for a long time, but I didn't buy it previously except for maybe once or twice. How come I can't open this? Because back in the day when you went to purchase products like this, getting them from Europe was pretty expensive. But now that they are carried over here on this side of the pond, they're much more accessible. I have my blush brush that I've been using for the week, so we're just going to see what this looks like. Just know that it's going to be mixed in a little bit with the other blushes that I've been using, but still. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the shade that I have is number 9. I don't think their shades have names, just numbers. So I can tell you already that this was an excellent purchase. I'm so glad that I bought it. This is really pretty. It's very blendable and it goes beautifully with my skin tone. You know what this reminds me of a little bit is the NARS blushes. Just a little. If NARS blushes were not as pigmented and were more buildable, this is what it would be like. And I'm here for it. Yes. Yep. Yeah, you guys are going to be seeing these a lot. As always, I'm going overboard with the blush. No one is surprised. I know. I like to go up underneath my eye, all up and through here. All up and through here. No one has anything to say about it, huh? Cool. That's good. That's great. Okay, let's pick a liner. For today's look, I think because, you know, this is what we always use, I have Demolition from Urban Decay. It's my favorite brown liner besides the one from NYX. As soon as this one goes into the completion bin, or empties bin, I guess is what it would be called, then I'll bust out the other one. But until then, I'm going to keep using this till the wheels fall off. And then, as you know, I do not typically line my lower lash line unless I'm doing like a very colorful, like a bright look, because to line my lower lash line with a deeper shade, I just feel like it ages me, like it closes my eyes off. And yes, I do have big eyes, but I don't want them to be closed off. So I don't line my lower lash line. There we go. I love to line my waterline as well though, because it makes my lashes look thicker. And I love that look. And then we're just going to take a little bit here to the corner. Just a little. Like a little. There we go. Just like that. Yay. Okay, so I still have this little flat brush here. I'm actually going to smudge this out a little bit. I just want it to be slightly ethereal. A little bit softer. Not looking for any harsh lines today. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, boy. Okay, so we only have a couple more products sitting in front of us, which means we're almost finished. I'm going to go in with, well, first of all, hold on. I know that my blush is a little out of control right now, so give me a second about that one. But I have the MAC Spiked pencil here. My eyebrows are tattooed, so I don't always fill them in, but I will sometimes. However, today is not one of those days. I'm just going to let them be the way they are. And as far as my blush, what we're going to do is go in with the Soft Focus Golden Almond Finish powder. And I do like this. It's from Black Radiance. And although the brand is called Black Radiance, I just want to clarify, I don't know if they're Black owned. I have no idea. So I'm not even going to purport to say something like that because I really don't know. If you guys know, let us know in the comments. I just know the brand is called Black Radiance. Because sometimes these companies, they originally are Black owned, but then they'll sell to another company, like a big one like Estee Lauder. And then Estee Lauder will be the owner of the brand, but they will not change the name of the product. So just something to think about. And then, oh my gosh, the struggle is real. What is going on here? Oh. I have a setting powder here. It's from Kryolan. It's the Ultra Setting Spray. We're going to use this to put all of this in place. This stuff is super strong. So if you don't like alcohol, it's definitely not the powder for you. And I have my fan right here so we can quickly dry off. Okay, mostly dry. The reason it's able to dry so quickly is because it has a very low surface density. And it has a low surface density because it has a ton of alcohol in it. So again, if you're sensitive to alcohol, just skip it. I think I put too much powder under my eyes today, you guys. So we're about to be walking around looking a little crazy. That's fine. This is fine. I'm going to use the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. And I love this mascara because it's a really wet formula and it dries quickly. And it definitely does what it says it does. It's a volumizing mascara, which are my favorite. If I had to choose between lengthening and volumizing, I'm going with volumizing all day long. I love that really luscious lash look. That kind of like old-fashioned 90s supermodel, super fluffy lashes. That's what I'm going for. Another coat. Just another one. Why not? Go crazy, get nuts. There we go. And then let's do the bottom lash. I don't typically buy higher end mascaras because I throw my mascaras away frequently. Like, very frequently. So I try not to buy too many higher end ones, but if I do buy higher end ones, chances are they're from Lancome or Dior, although there is one from Urban Decay that I really like as well. But Lancome is probably my favorite for higher end. I know I'd promised to go underneath with some color, but I'm not sure I want to do that now. I'm not sure that's what I'm going for. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I'll just do a little. I better hurry up. I gotta go. Just using that same flat brush I had from before. And I'm gonna go in with that same coppery Ignite color right here. And how about that same Baja color right here? Should have done this before I put on the mascara, but here we are. We're just gonna make the best of it. And then, what was the other one I used, you guys? Oh, I think it was this one. What was the one I used on the outside? You know what? We're just going to make it up as we go along. I'm going to grab the Hell Ride, that purple color, this one right here. And we'll use that for the outer corner. There we go. Love it. This is such an amazing palette, for sure. Okay, lastly, we need a lip. And I was gonna go in with this like bright purple lip, but then I realized my look has changed, so we're gonna go with something different. How about, I have these new e.l.f. lipsticks. This one seems nice, it's neutral. So this is the shade Drive. I'm gonna try this. There we go. Just something neutral. What do you think? Do you like it? I like it. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.